just where he was needed. Gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing. Faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. The swallows will be here by the door. When we're finally sober, they'll be gone.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. This is Social Sprints.
Dicery love past I should say a bit that
of the Storytellers Hearth relay. So this is a little bit more chatty, a little less intense. So we will be doing some questions, and then we'll have two sprints, a 30-minute and a 20-minute sprint. So, yes. I am Laura Nettles. You have stumbled upon my channel. I mostly write horror, as you can see the little picture up there. My book, Tiny Shivers, comes out May 9th. The ebook is up for pre-order right now on Amazon. And it is a bunch of horror short stories flashed in Drabbles. And yeah, it's fun. Come along for the ride. And these are my lovely co-hosts. So we have somebody you should be familiar with this event.
Hopefully. Hi, I'm Writing Mom Samantha on Nasset, and on my channel I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host live streams very similar to the social streams, not productivity. The social streams where we do more socializing and less sprinting, but we still get some work done. If you would like to read samples of my writing on my website, samanthaalnasset.com, I have a spooky flash fiction up and a murderous short story. While you're there, you can also sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam and get the news of things and announcements before everybody else does, like my most recent announcement that I made this week. And I will be announcing either on my stream or Monday. We'll see.
Awesome.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Shannon, writing under the pen name of SC Huston, and I have a YouTube channel under the name of SC Huston, where I talk about my writing and my self-publishing process. I also run a ton of writing sprints, and they come in various formats. And I'm also 1/3 of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with my hosts, Ben Pig from Writing to Write and Morgan Lee. And we are in our off-season at the moment, but we were going to have some off-season episodes coming out. The first one will probably come out April 15th. And we're going to talk about 5,000 Words Per Hour by Chris Fox. And then I'm one half of the AuthorTube Writing Conference Duo, and that happens June 23rd through the 25th. We will be having a live out on my channel coming this Friday, where we're going to be doing the random picking of our speakers for the AuthorTube Writing Conference. So look out for that.
Get out the way.
Awesome. JC.
Hi, I'm JC, author JC Carpenter here on YouTube. I am the self-published author of 3 books, novel and two poetry collections. I have a blog, online magazine, online store, Ko-fi page. I stream on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with some wonderful, lovely co-hosts. And I think that's it. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And yeah.
Including fabulous vlogs.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the lovely people I occasionally stream with is this one right here, Tiffany.
Hello, everybody. I am Tiffany, tlrusslifestyle on all the interwebs. I have a channel here where you can catch me on Thursdays with PJs and Scribbles, where we sprint, and every other Saturday on Saturday Shorts, where I come up with a prompt and we go through and create a short story based off of the prompt or whatever it is you're working on. I have a Kindle novella called Confirmed Her. You can check that out there, and then you can go over to my Ko-fi page and subscribe to my book club to get behind the scenes types of adventures and all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. And Tina.
Lastly, hi, I'm Tina. I go by Tabby online, and I make queer art and comics. I have Coffin Bed, an ongoing slice of life about a vampire, lesbian vampire and her human girlfriend, and The Deep, where two deep-sea mermaids discuss job satisfaction and one of them is dead. You can read all my comics for free online at cabby.com. My name is spelled there.
Is it okay if I meet you, Sam?
Oh, yeah, that's totally fine. But real quick, I did just want to, I forgot. Monday, I won't be doing sprints. We will instead be doing the Flash Fiction Free-for-All, which is where, based upon prompts that my graphics lord and savior Fox has created, that I have no idea what they are. I find out when everybody else does. Chat gets to vote on them, and then we have 50 minutes broken up into two 25-minute sprints to write the Flash Fictions, and then we give chat time to read them, and then they get to vote on which one they enjoy the most. Come and have fun with us. And yeah, anytime the background noise or anything gets too loud, just go ahead and mute me. I can't kick them out till their computer time is done.
How dare you be benevolent? Awesome. So, I'm gonna do a quick run of hellos. So, somebody awesome named Shannon showed up. I wonder who they are. Nick, I love your guts. Thank you for showing up. Dolores, hello. Hello, Lee. Hello, CB. Hello, Regina. That's me. More Regina. Morgan! Hello, Morgan. Hello, Cool Gamer. Some other awesome person named JC.
Who's this?
No, she is.
Why? Welcome.
Katie.
There we go. Desdemona. Welcome. Nia. La 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 la. Yes. Sam is doing a live get ready with me. Thank you.
I have no shame, and I had a lot of stuff to do before we went live.
It's not like you're in charge of this whole thing.
I totally didn't jump into the shower just before the stream. What are you talking about?
Hello, Essie. Let's see. Yeah, that's everybody. Okay. So,
Ty, you forgot Ty.
Ty. There.
Ty just came in.
Welcome. Okay, so I have some questions that I have conjured out of my brain. So, I thought it would be cool to talk about. The first one is like the classic pantsing, plotting, outlining thingamajig. But if you do outline, what techniques work for you? And what exactly does your outline entail? Like, is it bullet points? Is it half a novel? Is it a zero draft? What is your outline? Like, what works for you? So we can give people ideas if their process isn't quite functioning for them. Anybody want to jump in?
What order you want us to go in?
Let's round robin. Just whoever starts talking. At the moment, I'm trying to instruct a child how to manually turn down the TV.
Go, Tina.
Okay, I'll go. So, because I make comics, my outlines have to be quite detailed because it is much easier to fix a couple lines in an outline than it is to redraw an entire panel because of, plot holes or anything. So, and I actually have an outline right here that I'm working on. You can see it's just like big paragraphs. Because I actually found, after much struggling with figuring out outlines, I figured out that I write the way it works the most for me is if I write them how I talk. So instead of it being bullet points, because my brain just won't connect the two ideas. I'll put 2 lines and I'll be like, okay, what's in between there? I don't know. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun where lines in my outline will be we see da 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 da, and this person says something like blah 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 blah. It's exactly how I type it out. And it's great because I feel not only is it more entertaining for me and my like critique partners to read, but also like it takes a lot of stress off of me to like make the formatting like right, you know, because the important part is that I can understand it, you know, and of course my critique partners.
That's super cool.
Thank you,
Tiffany.
Did you say me?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I just taken a bite of my kind bar.
How dare you have human functions?
I don't fully outline. I'm more of a pantser, or a planser. Like I do plan, but not like an extensive outline. It's a lot of bullet points and notes. And I probably spend more time like on my character outlines and my character development than I necessarily do on the story, because I find that even when I outline or try to outline, my characters somehow take over, and it's very rare that I end up where I wanted to be. So I'm like, fine, if you're going to rule it, then I won't do it.
Nice. Go, JC, go.
Okay, so I outline, and I outline heavily. I don't like write a whole novel like or anything. But I bullet point. But I do character sketches. I come up with personalities, styles, and types and things and all that. I need to know what's going to happen in the story from beginning to end. But that doesn't necessarily mean that as I'm writing, things can't change. I change things often, but I still need that structure to come back to. Like if I get too off the rails, I'm like, wait, let me dial it back. Let me go back to the outline. Where'd I go off here? So I believe in heavily outlining. I cannot pants. I don't. The one time I tried, it was the worst thing ever. I will never do it again. So,
is there a certain structure that you outline too, like a Save the Cat beat sheet or a Romancing the Beat or something?
No one structure works all the time for me. Sometimes I kind of hodgepodge structures together and do a mix of different types of outlining processes. Sometimes it depends on the project that I'm working on, which one would work better. Save the Cat does not work. I love Save the Cat, but it does not work for everything. And I don't write romance, so I'm not sure Romancing the Beat would work even if I'm focusing on the romantic subplots. So yeah, it's just a mix.
I firmly stand by Save the Cat was originally written for film and thus does not actually translate to novel writing. Even though
it was
they
originally
think they do.
For film, but then the girl, what's her name? Lord, I can't think of her name right now.
Jessica Brody.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Thank you, Jessica Brody. She took the film one and adapted it for novel writing. I mean, it does work. Depends on. I don't think it works well for fantasy or romance. Some mystery maybe, but not cozy mystery. But there is a book for cozy mystery. I don't remember the title right now, so I can't think of it at the moment. But
if you think of the title, please let me know because I'll
look it up for you on the sprint.
Yeah,
I'll look it up for you on the sprint.
Thank you very much.
Tina might just happen to be writing a mystery at this moment.
Ooh.
Well, the thing is that my project that will hopefully be releasing this April is called One Mystery Treat, but it is a contemporary romance where there is a secret admirer that the main character is trying to like puzzle out. So it's not like tech. It's kind of a mystery. But it's got mystery in the name. So you know,
cozy romance.
I'll get the link for you on the sprint. It's in my cart for future purchases.
She's got it handy.
What about you, Shannon?
So I think I'm firmly in the intuitive writer camp, which is a term that I've heard from Becca Syme, which is that often we know the story, but we don't know how to access the information. And so I use a hodgepodge of different things to try and access information. I probably start with a visual outline. So I start thinking of my books like way ahead of time. I always know the beginning and the ending to my books and my series. And I think about it and think about it and think about it for like months. And when it comes to sitting down and starting to write, I'll start with like an outline, but I like the snowflake method, but I don't follow the snowflake method all the way through. I just go with, okay, here's the beginning, here's the end, and I need to have, conflicts in the middle that lead up to, the protagonist getting their main goal or not getting their main goal, whatever it's supposed to be. So I'll write down a few bullet points, and then this is interspersed with like lines of dialogue that come to my mind, which may or may not get used, and some character traits. And I always try to put in the main character's misbelief or what they believe, what lie they believe about themselves. And then I'll go into writing. And then when I finish, like now I've done 4 drafts of the current novel, and the 4th, and now this draft, I have done a reverse outline, which means that my story is done. And now I go chapter by chapter and I write up an outline based off of my chapters. And that helps me visually see what works and what doesn't work. What do I need to add? What do I need to take out? So, hodgepodge of stuff.
Very cool.
I'm all over the place. I just do, if it's like short form fiction, then sometimes I'll pants it, sometimes I'll have a bullet point outline just so I kind of know where I'm going, especially since I used to do like flash fiction and short story contests. So I'd be like, I have this many words to work with, and then I decide what scenes are more important, so what scenes I want to dedicate more space to. For a novel, I start with a very sporadic bullet point that may or may not contain more details, because I'm like, I know scenes I want, I know plot beats I want, and then I put it all in there. And then I'll go back through the outline, and I will just slowly flesh out the outline as it goes. Some scenes get a lot more detail than others. Like my fight scenes in my outline, I write them out step by step by step so that I know exactly where all the limbs are at any given point in time, which is not how you want to write it in the prose at all. That's terrible. But but having that like there for me, I can be like, okay, which body part do I want to focus on right now for like the right impact and the tone that I'm getting? So, and it's like, it's important for me to know if somebody is about to roundhouse, but if like my main character is distracted by something else, they're not going to see the foot come until it, connects.
Yeah.
But like, I can't say that like they roundhouse if they're also stumbling backwards. That wouldn't work out very well. So eventually my outlines can get kind of detailed. My outlines can also be very silly sometimes, whereas like sometimes like leading up to a romance scene, I'll be like, kiss the girl, whoa, whoa. And then, like, in my original bullet point for like one of my series climaxes, I was like, pow pow, she kills the motherfucker, and then I like moved on. And then like the bullet point like right under it is like this more technical like detailing of what happens in that scene. But I'm like, my outlines are for me to be entertained, and that's their job. So
Nice.
Reader magnets.
Cool. So I do a variety of things because my brain. But let me shuffle. So for my middle grade, I pulled tarot cards. So I pulled all of those, and they actually came out in an order that worked as a functional plot, which was awesome. And then I just bullet pointed each chapter based off of the tarot cards. So I pulled basically there's a great uncle who is overbearing and likes to be in control. And then I have a moment of introspection and pessimism, inability to see the good in life, which is the main character going in and having to live with this uncle now. And so like it just unfolded that way, and it was really cool. But for my YA, I did plot embryos. So these are based off of the hero's journey. So I think it's the Dan Harmon's story circle. So in the interior, you have their misbelief, the truth that they come to know. You have their known world and the unknown world that they cross into, and the whole hero's journey. So I had that. And then I I also have for the antagonist, I have their plot embryo so that they don't make that pivotal change and make the course correction. And so they have a tragic ending. And then what I did is after I drafted it, I did a reverse outline so that I could make a table of where every character was every chapter so that they were doing things while they were off screen, while they were off page. They weren't revolving around the main character. They had their own lives that they were living. So that was helpful too. But yeah. So yeah.
It's so different. All of us have different ways of doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm double checking thing. For those who don't know, I help co-organize this event, and so I have to make sure nobody's having any panics or anything.
Okay.
All is well.
I
think
can't
people
hear you,
answered your
Tina, if
question,
you're
really.
talking.
Oh.
Nothing.
No, poor Tina.
Oh no.
Come back to us.
Did you have a lot of people in the chat who answer the question too?
Yeah. So, while we have technical issues, we shall go through the chat. So, Regina, amazing Regina, says, my outlining process is usually backward. I write the novel, then go through it and summarize the chapters for myself so I can find things when I'm editing.
It's like a reverse outline, almost like.
Uh-huh. Very cool. Let's see. Essie says, I'm a planter, and honestly, I feel like my planning process changes with every novel I write. At the moment, I'm pantsing a sequel and very much regretting it. When I do outline, it's bullet points, usually 3 to 9 bullet points per chapter, depending on what the chapter entails. Yeah. Desdemona says, I make an outline and then my characters laugh at me and make me redo it several times. Let's see. Ty says, I first write out all my character arcs, then I use those to outline a few chapters, write those, then outline some more. I use a modified 3-act, give each POV their own 3-act, then mush it all together in an outline. I make a little description for each chapter and tag the POV. Very cool. Oh, here's part 3 of 3. I also don't do any planning for short stories or memoir. For my scripts, I do scene mapping, where I map where each scene is going to take place and 1 to 3 bullet points of what's going to happen. Regina says, with my romances, I feel like I'm on the right track when I can jump ahead and write the last chapter that tells me where I'm going. The rest of the book is getting me there. The book Writing in the Dark by Tim Wagner goes over the 5 possible endings of horror stories. And so sometimes it can be fun to just pick one ending type and aim for it as you're pantsing your way. So you just have a general heading.
Is there one like that for other types of genres, or is it just the horror one?
That's the only one I found. There's like the main character succumbs to evil, becomes the evil, is scarred by the evil, like takes others down with them. There's like 10 different ones.
I think for romance it's HEA.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's see.
No, we still can't hear you.
What if you leave StreamYard and come back in? Okay. Pants the short stories. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Catpaw. Let's see. I write a complex synopsis to begin with, and then do main character profiles. Yeah, I found that writing my query letter helped me solidify my themes and stuff for my story, so that when I went back and started reworking it again, it definitely helped me to know what are the themes and what are the tensions that I need to focus on, because they're in the query. What are you working on, JC?
I'll put the answer. I'm not some stuff for a video, some admin stuff, some other stuff on my weekend to-do list. I don't write on the week. I don't write on the weekends, so no writing.
I'm back.
Yay!
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 I have no idea what happened. But
You were telling a story through nonverbal language.
yeah.
I saw you doing something.
Yeah.
Was there anything you wanted to bring up?
I mean, I keep looking over because one of my hill children over here. Are you gonna come? No. No. Maybe. Yes, he is. Hold on 1 second.
Aw, bunny.
Aww.
This is Boo.
I
He
haven't
is
seen a bunny
upset.
very often on YouTube.
He is very upset that I'm talking to someone who's not him. And so he keeps making noises to get my attention, and that's why I keep turning. All right, I'll put it back down.
Adorable.
Oh.
So we'll go through the last little bit real quick, and then we will get to sprint number 1. Okay. And I scrolled, so I just lost everything.
I think you were at.
Let's go here.
Yeah, I think that's where you were at.
So, Mr. P, now B.A. Pascal. I'm still trying to figure it out. I try to organize some things in Campfire, then write a few bullets on what happened in the chapter. Welcome, Joanne. Nia says, I don't use one outline method, but when I'm done, I make sure that important story beats are hit in the genre. For the genre. Okay.
I will say I find it fascinating that people have. I mean, it makes sense, but that people have different preparations based on like genre and stuff. Because I had never even considered, because like my creative process just works the same regardless of what genre I'm writing in. So I was like, huh, I never thought about that. So I'm loving hearing all of these different answers in such detail.
Pretty done.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. Okay, so we will get our first sprint underway. Good luck, everybody. I should take the question down. I am on it. Okay.
Hey, look, I can be seen again.
Yay! Welcome back. Okay, let us start in. I should be on the right tab. 3, 2, 1, go! And we are back.
Welcome back.
Yeah. So, how did everybody do? Tiffany's camera's on. Amazing.
I know.
Ugh. I was in Canva making character mock-ups. Like, you just show me.
You are having fun with Canva.
Oh gosh. Let me make sure it's up.
Also, Tina, did you ask the I'm in the private chat for you, Tina, to the book? Uh-oh, can't hear you. Can't hear you again.
Oh, you're muted.
No. Oh, yeah.
I'm back.
Okay.
Having all the audio issues, but yes, I did get the link. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's basically just like the character and basic info. So, yeah. So I have that so I can refer back to it. So, like, the first 3 are in chapter 1, and the other 3 are in chapter 2. So, yeah.
Oh, fun times.
So I have it in my Word document as I draft, so I can just scroll up. Yeah. So how did everybody else do?
I was all over the place with all the things I was doing. I posted some stuff to Instagram. I had to refigure out how long to make my sprints later because I was a social stream that was 2.5 hours long. Now I'm a product social stream that's 3.5 hours long. So I was like,
A producial
yes.
stream.
Yes, producial stream, if you may.
Exciting.
So I figured that out, and I may or may not have been Snapchatting CB back and forth as we were showing each other how obsessed our cats are right now. Like, this is mine. She's just...
Oh.
But also, I'm wearing leggings that are thinner than my, like, fuzzy pants normally are. So she's used to being able to put her claws in a specific depth so she doesn't fall off when I'm moving my legs. Not the same depth as these leggings. So it's been fun teaching her how far is not okay, and she's not as stable, so she's not happy about it, but it's fine. We figured it out. And then I did something. I don't remember what else, but so I posted my goals on Instagram. So if you don't know, we do have goal graphics for the weekend. We've got one Instagram story size and one post size, in case you don't use the stories. The post size one, like, they also work on like the Twitter and the community tab on YouTube. You know, wherever you want to post them.
Very cool.
That's all the things I do.
I'm just revising my work in progress, and so just working through that.
Nice.
I put away a load of laundry.
Yay! Tiffany.
I put on presentable clothes. I got a snack because I realized it was too close to dinner to have lunch.
I hate those days.
Yeah. And then I think I finished setting up all of my alerts and things for Twitch that I'm going to set up right now because I'm frustrated and annoyed and I don't want to look at it right now.
Understandable.
How you really feel? I just recorded a few clips for a video. That's all. That's all.
Awesome. Oh, okay. So, scroll back up. Okay. Angela popped in. Hello. And Stacy lost power. It is going stir crazy. Yes. Lindsay, hello. And Andy popped in and popped back out. CB says, my ZT is taking so long. I'm so hungry. Please melt cheese, please.
Dinner is rude to make you wait like that.
I feel that on an internal stomach level.
Spiritual level.
My soul feels that. Melted cheese. But yeah. The question for this go round is, when do you focus on conveying the theme of your story during the writing process? Is it during the outline, while you pants? Do you layer it in afterwards? Is there a certain draft number where you focus on it? Is a theme even necessary? So, yeah. Go, Tina.
Me first. I feel like it ends up being where like I will have a specific like scene in mind. First, like a moment will come to me, and then as I work on it, a theme sort of sprouts out of that. To the point where like I've had where friends of mine have been like looking over my work and been like, "Oh, this tied into the theme really well," and I was like, "There's a theme? There's been a theme here."
Yeah, I always heard that if you don't intentionally put a theme in, they'll read a theme out of it anyway. So might as well make it intentional.
I don't necessarily think themes are crucial to telling a story, because there's a lot of stories that are just entertainment and they're just supposed to be entertainment. So I can't say for sure that I've ever gone in intentionally with a theme in mind for anything long form. I have for a couple things like short form. But sometimes, like, I'll be writing and I'll get through it and then I'm rereading it and I'm like, oh, wait a second. And then I'll kind of retroactively figure out a way to make a theme stronger or to impose a theme. And usually that's when I sit there and I go, I'm so smart. Because, like, I didn't even know I was doing this. So. But I do.
Me, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just say for authors and writers who intentionally put themes in there, I greatly respect and admire that, because normally they do it really well because it was intentional. So.
Oh, come on. I need these.
I'm one of those intentional authors. I put the theme in the outline. I don't think I could write a story that doesn't have like a message or a theme or a point. Like I have to. There has to be a point to the story for me. So, but yeah, that's it. Shannon.
So I do most of the stuff I do is in my head when I first start. You know, a lot of the visual outlines in my head. I think about my story, my chapters, my characters. And when I do like that short little outline, it becomes a little bit more clear to me. So that when I'm doing the first draft, I'll start incorporating theme. But I do also intentionally think about how am I incorporating it, because theme could be verbally stated by one of your characters, or it can just be through actions, or what's happening in the story itself. So then as I'm writing that first draft, then I start thinking about, okay, I think this is the theme that fits with what's going on in my story and my characters and the way they're growing. So.
I normally have a point to my story because that's how I figure out my character's arc. If it's a theme, sometimes it pops up while I'm writing. Sometimes it pops up while I'm thinking of the story. I am one of those crazy people that did take a creative writing class where you did have to do the outline, where it was like character plus plot equals theme or premise. So I do sometimes have that in my head as I'm, coming up with things. But it's more about the character arc for me than anything else. And so if that equals out a theme or a premise, then yay. And if it doesn't, then yay. But whichever way it works, I'm happy.
Nice. Ugh. Roy is very talkative right now, but keep having to mute. So for me, I don't know. Like, I had a theme for my first novel that I came up with while I was doing the plot embryo thing. Sir. Oh my gosh. Okay, so another time I had a short story and I wrote it, and it was a gothic romance. And then
It's just all the background stuff. I'm so
Tina fell over.
I don't know.
Tiffany, that reminds me of the day when this happened to Nia.
You can't get up.
I don't know. But yeah. So
Oh my god, what did I do? So sorry.
Oh no!
no, so
No, maybe she exited to come back in.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna hope that it was intentional.
So I wrote my short story, and then there was an anthology I wanted to submit to, but the anthology needed a certain theme. And yay! So I layered my theme in afterwards. So like it was conducive to the story already, but the theme was trees drop dead things. So I was like, well, my main character lost a brother, and so the family was like, just let it go. Like he's gone, just let it go. And then her husband dies, and the family is gonna like her family's philosophy would be like, just let it go, just move on. And she's like, I am not a tree. I am taking this into my own hands. And so she goes and body snatches her dead husband so his ghost can.
Oh. Okay.
Wait a minute, is this the story you were telling us about before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Snatched ghosts. So yeah, I layered that theme in afterwards, but it was already supported by the plot. So yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, I don't usually focus on theme, but I haven't done novel length stories in a while. So with this vampire romance, I gotta figure out, do I have a theme? And is the theme just something like love conquers all? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Perhaps that is the thing.
Perhaps they do have terrible obstacles. But yeah.
But you are right when you said that if there's not a theme in there, people will find one. Because I've read books that there was no obvious theme, but I'm searching for one because I need one. I need there to be a message.
Yeah,
people like to read whatever they want into your writing, like regardless of whether it's theme or anything. I entered a short story contest, and I forgot what the genre we were supposed to be writing in. I think it was like mystery or horror or thriller. I don't know. Either way, my characters were paranormal detectives, and they were going to investigate a haunted house where there was like a monster in the basement, and she was like, the main character was like the mentor-y character who was in her like mid-30s, and her apprentice was this like younger guy who was in his very early 20s, and like they had a very, to me, like platonic parental, mentor mentee relationship and stuff. There was absolutely nothing romantic about it, and like I'm a huge romance fan. I write a lot of romance. I feel I'm an expert in this particular area. One of the judges' feedbacks was that they were like, really enjoyed the character dynamics, would have loved to see the romance blossom on page. And I'm like, what? Are you telling me the first short story I've written in 5 years without romance? Excuse? I was so confused. I went to all my critique partners, and I was like, is it me? Am I just like so used to romance I just wrote it without thinking? And they're like, no, like they definitely never flirted. And I'm like, I pretend
men and women can't be friends without having romance.
I pretend to be super salty about like, I only didn't get into the next round because I was misunderstood. But
so Essie says, I don't usually worry about theme until at least the second draft. Sometimes it's the third or fourth, but before I get around to that bit. I also tend to not have themes for my novels. Cool. Richard, hello. Kappa says, my theme, if you can call it that, is in the feel of it.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's like I don't set out to have a theme, but I feel like if I do my job correctly, then people will take a theme out of it that is close to what I want them to take out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it does.
Yeah, like if the plot is pointing towards a certain like cause and effect, like it can be read as, well, that's the way that the author feels the world should work.
Yes, exactly. Very much better said than I said it.
Regina says, I leave the theme to English majors. If I find one when I'm done, I enhance it with layering or foreshadowing. The theme always feels like a reader determination to me. I just want to be entertained, or to entertain.
Regina and I, we share a book.
Let's see. I want the intensity, the unrest, the uneasiness, and distortion to be present as often as possible. Oh, I broke 98K during that sprint!
Nice job.
And at some point in the last hour, I broke 5K for the day.
Awesome.
Nice.
Congrats, Essie. Let's see. My world takes place on a fictional planet, and some of my theme was built into my world building, which has a few layers of themes. Sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
I think it's better. No. Okay. My novel themes vary, series, but I have an idea before I start. Yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of people will be like, I want to explore, like, what is the word? My brain.
An
Like,
idea?
like social injustice or something. And so they will build that into their world that they're exploring.
Social commentary?
Yeah. So, like, even if it's a fantasy world, if they want to, like, showcase the struggle of a certain type of group of people, they will build that same type of struggle into their fantasy world so that they can explore that and have that theme instead of making it, like, the perfect world where nothing terrible ever happens. I don't know.
I will say my one story that after I had answered, I distinctly remember does have a theme. The theme is even kind of in the title, is my murderous villain short story on my website. All That Glitters. And like the title itself is an allusion to the often misquoted phrase, all that glitters isn't gold, which, fun fact, it's often misquoted because Smash Mouth misquoted it in the lyrics, all that glitters is gold. But it's all that glitters isn't gold.
BA got 341. Hooray!
Nice. Awesome.
Let's just sat down to do something after editing this morning, making some notes. My goals for the write-a-thon is figuring out what my workout should be next month. Let's see. DIY creative retreat. I usually plan an initial theme for the story or arc when I'm pantsing to keep me on track. It does change in drafts since I have a better feel of characters by then. Things can definitely shift. Let's see. There's some yays. My cat doesn't care about depth. He'll happily chill with his claw buried in my skin if I let him. Let's see. Doing laundry.
Same.
Avoid that stuff until you're in the mood. Thought my cheese melted, but it didn't. No! Okay. In the very beginning, because of the character arc, as mentioned before, are based off of some type of premise or theme. Okay, cool. Ah! Stop glitching on me, StreamYard. Send my oven good vibes. Okay. The theme of Richard's techno-thriller Price War is capitalism. Aha. And then I usually don't focus on conveying a theme. I have a hard time coming up with a theme in the first place anyway. Themes? What are does?
Is what it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Morgan says, I love themes. I have themes for all my books, and I figure that out before I start writing the story. Theses for me are pretty incidental. I just go for a plot and see what happens. I've had reviewers find themes that I didn't know were there.
Oh my god.
I hear screaming.
Today.
For me, theme informs conflict, so I don't really start writing without it. Shrek. Anyways, yeah.
Did you see Morgan's answer?
Huh?
Did you see Morgan's answer? Or did I miss that?
I think I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Hello, Mullen. Thank you. Yes, I did a cover reveal. Let's see. Cat alert. Hello. Everybody's here from productivity. Thank you all for coming. I think we have time for another sprint now, and then we will be on to the final question. So, I keep hitting the wrong things.
That's the song that popped in my head too, Tiff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've just been floating around everywhere. Like I was on the Brett Pack or one earlier, and then I had God Save the King stuck in my head. And then Richard just posted the somebody told me, and then I had that in my head. And then Laura said the final question, and I was like, it's the final. I'm just bouncing around.
Hi.
I don't know what will come next.
Hi.
Casey said hi.
Nylan's like, haha, it's arriving for productivity just in time for another sprint.
That's what happens sometimes.
It's a sign.
Ooh,
All
this is
right.
pretty.
Final sprint. And the final question. Do you guys have any tips on how to make wounds or trauma, emotional, physical, whatever, spiritual, more impactful in a story? So that is the final question. Let's begin in 3, 2, 1, go! was the final sprint. Woo! Yes, sir. What do you want? That's my breadsticks. So, woohoo! I tweaked some of my info, and I am exploring what is my vampire shape-shifting limits. Like, so his alter ego that he goes clubbing as has red hair, like fire engine red hair, and I'm like, can he shift that? Or can he only do natural colors and has to dye it every time? Like, so, yeah, stuff like that. Fun times, fun times. How did everybody else do?
More revisions done.
I went to start prepping to get dinner started, and I know it's late, but and I read a few pages of my book. That's about it.
You're muted, Tina.
every time I mostly just organized my notes for one mystery treat, the romantic possible mystery.
Nice.
Yeah.
I outlined as someone who just said that they were a pantser and didn't outline.
Wait, say what? Come again? Who are you?
Okay, I'm not so much outlining as I'm kind of okay, because my story, like, it requires a certain. They're on a cruise ship, so I have to know when everything happens on each day. So I'm more in Scrivener, like moving, like ports and
Making an
events
itinerary
around than necessarily outlining per se.
I mean, it is technically kind of outlining. It's bullet points ish.
She's making the itinerary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The itinerary of the novel.
When they're doing this, when they hit the port, when the boss calls and everything hits the fan.
See,
So it's more timeline than necessarily an outline, but hey.
No.
I mean, outline's not a dirty word.
It still counts. It still counts as an outline. It might be a loose outline, but it's still an outline.
But I figured you guys would get a kick out of that since, I said I don't really outline. And then I was sitting here like,
there really is carrying a lot of weight.
I mean, because it wouldn't be good if you start the story and you start forgetting what you had them do the day before. That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're reading more into this. It's like Port 2.
I'm not reading more into it. I'm just saying.
The next one is like movie night.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, if you get to a point where you're writing that they did something the previous day that they didn't do because that's not what you wrote, see, these are things you need to know. You need to know that there was a movie night instead of, like, something else.
I mean, this is all the reason why I can't pants for the life of me, because I don't have a good enough memory. Like,
there you go.
I have it all up in here, and I'm like, here doesn't hold anything. Here holds like 2 corn chips. Like,
it's really more a list. I really want y'all to understand. It's
a list is still an outline. It's a loose outline, but it's still an outline.
Okay.
There are different types of outlines.
Meet the chef.
If you don't want to have
it gets spicy.
It's bullet point adjacent.
Have you ever seen people play pool on a cruise?
Huh?
Have you ever seen people play pool on a cruise? It's hilarious because all of the balls are just like
going like this,
rolling around the table.
I feel the same way about shuffleboard. I'm like, do y'all not realize it's kind of sliding a little bit? But okay.
Can someone explain what shuffleboard is? Because I don't really.
Isn't it like curling without the ice? That's how I understand it.
Okay. I still have yet to understand fully what curling is. Sure,
I mean,
but
so I gotta know. That was a joke. I actually have a friend who used to do. It's basically
if I understand shuffleboard correctly, it's they have like some sort of goal system like drawn on the deck, and then you use this stick to push, I think, a puck, and whatever square you land in,
He's
that's
curling.
It's like numbers, and I think you're trying to get the highest score.
Yeah, it's almost like a dartboard in terms
I
of
didn't know
like,
what
you know, like
curling
certain
was.
areas have different, you know, points.
You know, I don't know what curling is outside of the video game of curl, like on the Mario video game where they have the Olympic sports.
Oh,
It's curling on there, and that's the only reason I even know it exists.
They show it on the TVs at restaurants. But I am in Canada. So,
yeah, that's the thing.
Richard got 312. Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah. Jennifer did 20 minutes of cuddles with Kitty. Hurrah, hurrah. Did I say Joanna? I don't know if I can read.
I ask myself that every day as a dyslexic person, Laura.
I looked it up. I found it. It's in my cart. Wrote 65 words, and there was some thinking done. Thinking hurts sometimes.
And it's still writing.
Oh, yeah. I'm editing the chapter
no,
where
you
my...
have a different song in my head.
Oh, God, no. Wait a minute. What song is it this time? Wait.
Everybody hurts.
Oh!
Because of the like
What
commercials
symphony
from the
is here?
90s where they would play a sample of a song to sell a CD. Whenever I hear "Everybody Hurts," it automatically goes into "All by Myself."
Oh, wanna be? Uh-oh.
Oh.
All right. Just one that says, I'm editing the chapter where my antagonist kidnaps my main character when they are only 3, and adopts them as their own child.
I read
How's it
that
awful
the person
here?
that was kidnapping was 3 years old.
Not quite.
Tell us more. What else happened?
The pretty accomplished for 3-year-old.
Because Tiffany loves a good kidnapping.
Yes.
In books.
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have led with that. I'm sorry. In fiction, not in real life.
Yeah.
We don't want to scare you.
If you got 462 words,
Wow.
just under 6K for the
Awesome,
day.
Inka.
Very nice.
6,000 for the day. Wow.
Mullet. My outlines are always very much bullet points and sub-bullet points. The life of a planter.
Yes.
I'm right there with you.
I'm gonna
I appreciate it.
dance dinner
Can't be me.
as snacking on screen. How someone could dance.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I dance during sprints. You can go back.
Yeah.
Every sprint, there will be a Sam dancing at some point.
Ty got 200.
Nice.
Very nice.
Got food before the next stream. Very cool.
Self-care.
So,
My spaghetti has just risen my core body temperature, and now I'm hot.
super rapid fire. What is your top tip, everybody, for making wounds more impactful?
I had one before I went to grab my spaghetti in under a minute.
Go, Tina.
I have heard the advice before, and it's really helpful to like focus on small details. Like instead of the example was like instead of like focusing on the big explosion, focus on like the child's sock on the sidewalk. And like reading that example made me go, oh my god. But the advice still holds true. I just broke everyone's hearts. I'm so sorry.
Not the sock.
I mean, it's effective. In 2 lines, they like punch you with it.
Yeah. Excellent.
I just used mine yesterday, which is to build the character's world where they're happy and they're loving and they're so excited and they can see the future is so good and it's so great. And then that's when you hit them with whatever it is that's going to like destroy them.
I like how she threw the punch and like for everything.
It could be a punch.
It was impactful.
They have that exact moment in Attack on Titan Season 1 everybody's like, we stole meat from the officers. We're gonna eat good. Everything's well, and then bam, enemy, and it's like, no.
Like I said, I had my character. They were excited, like they were in love. They were finally starting to believe that the person could actually really be theirs. And then there was a knock on the door, and it just obliterated their whole world.
I'm like writing notes.
I like a slow burn foreshadow to certain things. So like, but not a foreshadow that, oh, they're going to lose this, but like a dreaded feeling of what would happen if they did lose that. And then sometimes you can make them lose whatever it is, or you can subvert it and like let them have it. And then the relief can be like just as impactful as if like they did lose whatever it was. Cause like I pick up on foreshadowing and shit a lot in media. So that's what gets me all the time is I'm like, oh, they're like the best of friends. Don't you fuck this up. Don't you? It's like, don't you dare. Don't you take that, especially since I have a history of my favorite always dying. So it's like, oh, that's their childhood friend. That's their blood brother. That's their. Don't you sacrifice your life to save that. I don't even like the main character. Don't you dare.
Okay, I need to know why Tiffany's face is like that. Wait, because I'm worried.
Oh, that was just Mona's comment where she.
Okay.
My book has 2 kidnappings. Later, when my main character is 7, the antagonist has them help him kidnap another child, though of course the 7-year-old doesn't understand what's going on, but he only keeps the second child for a few days and sends her back. He kidnaps them as a really twisted revenge plot. Let the 2 kids play, then send them home.
Damn.
Torture your characters.
Dang.
I love it.
Wow. I don't. Okay, I see why your face was like that now. Damn.
I also love too to like if something bad happens to a character, focus on their loved ones instead. Like I have a death that like punched me pretty hard. But I was like, I like this character, and like instead of everyone like being like, oh no, look at him, look how sad he is, immediately went to their partner who is just in like complete denial that it's happening, and I'm like, focus on that. Focus on the denial and the other characters reacting to that denial rather than to the actual death. And then my critique partners was like, why did you do this to me? It hurts so much. And I was like, I have no regrets.
PC, you want to say yours?
Honestly, I don't know that I have an answer for that. Okay. I've been thinking the whole time, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can convey how I impart emotional trauma on my characters.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, you go, Shannon.
Well, I talked about how in my like thinking process, I try to come up with an emotional wound or misbelief for my character. And so I love using this, the emotional wound thesaurus. It has like almost everything you can think of under the sun, emotional wounds. And in it, it will give you like opportunities to face and overcome this wound. And I will take that and try to build a scene, or it's like one of the main plot points. So for me to make it impactful, the character interweaves their misbelief interweaves into the plot point, and that is part of their growth and the plot at the same time.
Cool. Oh, I have one now. I don't know if you just gave it to me, but I don't think you did. I don't know. You might have. I don't know. The only tip I can say, I know from my writing, apparently, there seems to be a lot of tapping. Well, I guess I tap into some of my childhood trauma, and I just use some of my own experience. I mean, now all the trauma in my books have not happened to me, but a lot of the underlying trauma is stuff that I experienced. So I just kind of draw from my own experience, but I don't really know how to convey that in a helpful way. I'm sorry. I'm bad at answering.
You did.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, it came across.
I do like think of snap them like a glow stick.
Oh my gosh.
So when I was talking with Nick, who is Earthy Pagan, we were doing a deep dive into my character's motivations from a vampire romance, and we just kept thinking of like, so why do they react this way, and then why do they react this way? From that, like what caused that, and what caused that, and it just it dug up so much trauma for this poor character. Like, I was like, okay, he doesn't want to form a bond with the other main character. Why? Because his dad might not approve. Well, why? Well, he keeps setting him up with the heirs of these other families, and it has to be on his, like, it has to have his seal of approval. Well, why does Victor know that? Well, because when he did his own and initiated his own, his dad off the dude because no, not approved. And so, and like, why would Victor like have this certain feeling about humans versus vampires? Like, well, maybe he's a little standoffish with humans because he did have a human friend as a kid, and his dad was like, kill that human off to prove that you can be my next mafia boss. And he's like, I can't do it! So his dad like, I'm gonna do it for you. So like, just trying to peel back the layers of like, why do they have this feeling has been really helpful. My poor characters. But yeah. I like Esther's. Gallons of Blood.
Yeah. Because Esther has a wonderful Kindle called Marina the Vampire. She's not joking about that.
In which I'm sure gallons of blood were spilled.
And Mullen agrees with you. The Emotional Wound Thesaurus. And then, let's see. Soak the page with blood. Let's see. Make it emotional and...
Why is it wet?
Make it emotional and physical. Double the trauma for double the fun.
Nice.
I can see that. Richard says, I have a perfect example for this question, but it would be a major spoiler from my friend's book. Go read The Manhattan Split, Proto by Chris Kenny. Simona says, make it relatable or at least realistic. Don't do that thing, I see in a lot of TV shows, where something traumatic happens and then an hour later, everyone's fine.
Laura was talking about this before we started the stream.
Don't have someone break their leg and then 10 minutes later they're running on it. Like,
very true.
No.
That's crazy.
No. Let's see. All right, the glory. Let's see. Now, for real, if the characters that cause the emotional wound can cause a physical one, there's a double whammy. Hard to survive. Which is awesome. If it's a past trauma, show the results, even if readers don't know why the person is the way they are. Then when you reveal the why, they have that ooh moment and really see the impact.
Yeah, that's important.
Yes.
And we talked about Duolingo.
Harry Potter.
What?
Is that Harry Potter?
I have that song now in my head too. Yay!
Oh, I don't. The children are listening to shorts on YouTube or something, so probably.
Oh, I thought you were whistling.
Oh no.
Nick says, be careful with overgeneralizing. Everyone experiences trauma differently. Write your characters as real as it would be for them, not for shock value. Excellent.
Those little details. That's what makes it.
Adding on to, I think the advice earlier was basically being able to draw from your experiences. So, like, for example, I have CPTSD and I am writing a character who also has it. But I know that not everybody's is the same. So I started researching CPTSD to see how it might, little things and stuff that I could have for the character. So where I had a strong foundation to start off of, I then went and looked up other things that I could work on to grow it and gain that skill. And then other people who might be able to relate on a different way. And at least for me, there are a few things that hit harder than when I can actually relate to a character and then something sucky happens to them and I'm like, oh no, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why sibling things make me cry, but nothing else does.
I also have the books Blood on the Page, Name Your Characters, and body trauma. So I have these like encyclopedias of different types of wounds, how you should treat them, how long they take to recover from, what types of things could give you those wounds. And so it might be helpful as well to get sensitivity readers for like a doctor aspect of, could they survive this? Or things like that. And is this the correct way to do first aid for this type of wound?
Unless you have magic.
Something that's good for that too is if you like on YouTube look for like doctors reacting to things, because when they react to like injuries in movies, they'll usually specify like all of those details for that specific thing, right? But yeah.
Another one that's good is if you can find a doctor that will watch TV shows and react to them, and then they pause it and they talk about why what they did was either right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's helped me a lot.
Yeah. Any doctors react on YouTube is usually good for that kind of thing.
Then we gotta wrap up real quick. Ty says, have the trauma affect them and their life in some way before they actually identify what the trauma is. Then part of their arc is not only dealing with it, but also identifying it. Cool. Yay! And then Morgan says, I would say make sure to use all the 5 senses in your descriptions, make it visceral so the reader feels it on multiple levels, but don't dump it all in one moment. Weave it into the story. Excellent.
But she also said that's why she writes fantasy, magical healing.
Hi, Barrett.
I think that's good advice. I also think it can be beneficial to focus on 1 or 2 senses, depending on like what's going on, because it's a very like, sometimes your other senses shut down when like you're going through certain things and you can really only process certain ones at a time. Like, especially when our survival instincts kick in and stuff and the adrenaline ramps up and it kind of dulls our sense of touch so that we can push through pain and injury to get to safety. So like that's an example of that. And if there's like an odd smell, then sometimes you'll like hyper focus in on the smell and finding the smell, so then you're not really hearing things that you should be hearing. So
cool.
Some other ways you can hone in on that.
Awesome. So we are now past the 2-hour mark, so we gotta say our goodbyes. But thank you all so much for coming to Social Sprint Numero Dos. I'm Laura. My book, Tiny Shivers, is up for pre-order on Amazon, and I write horror. So come stick around. It's fun. The next social will be a productivity social on Sam's stream, correct? Sam's channel?
Yes.
Yeah. So see you guys over there if you're not going to the next productivity. So that's me. Go Sam.
Hold on. Are we social 2 or 3 right now?
Right now we're
Social 2 right now.
Yeah. No, the next social is on Dolores'
all right.
channel. She's social
Sam's
3.
is 4.
I'm social 4. Yeah. So the next one will be on Dolores' channel.
Okay. I'm just lying over here.
You're fine. I was like, yeah, wait a sec.
Sitting on a throne of lies.
Smell like beef and cheese.
I would have believed you if I didn't know that I was on 2, 3, and 4. And I'm writing Mom Samantha on Nasset. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer parent things. You can go to my website, SamanthaLNasset.com, to read samples of my writing. Monday, we're doing a flash fiction free-for-all, which is where me and my co-host will have about an hour to write a prompt that chat gets to vote on, and then chat gets to tell us who was the most entertaining. I also help co-organize this here weekend relay. Weekend relay? I'm also terribly dyslexic, and you can tell. So, yeah.
I'm Shannon, writing under the pen name of SC Huston. I have a YouTube channel under the name of SC Huston, where I talk about my writing and self-publishing journey. I also do tons and tons of different types of sprints. I'm 1/3 of the self-publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Morgan Lee, who's in the chat. and been picked from Running to Write. We are in our off season, but we should have an off season episode coming the middle of April where we talk about 5,000 Words Per Hour by Chris Fox. I'm also one half of the AuthorTube Writing Conference duo with Margaret Pinard, and we will have a live video coming out on Friday. Don't have the time for that yet, where we're going to do the random drawing for the speakers for the AuthorTube Writing Conference. And you can also find out more information from our website, which is authortubewritingconference.com.
Hi, I'm JC, author JC Carpenter here on YouTube. I'm a self-published author of 3 books, a novel, and 2 poetry collections. I have a blog, online magazine, online store, Ko-fi page. I stream on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also post videos Mondays and Thursdays. And yeah, that's me, Tiffany.
No yawning
Oh,
loud.
I'm so
Keep going.
I'm so sorry.
I was like,
I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at I'm sorry.
it's okay. Hi guys, I'm Tiffany, tlrusslifestyle. Lifestyle. You can check me every other Thursday doing PJs and Scribbles, and every other Saturday doing Saturday Shorts. Both are live streams. Both we have fun. We have a good time. Come hang out. I am doing Twitch now, which I keep calling Twitter. It's affectionate, I guess, but you can come find me there if you'd like to stream during the day. And I do have a Kindle novella called Come Find Her. It's a paranormal romance, slow burn. You can come check it out and take a look, and then afterwards come to my Ko-fi page and join my newsletter, because I'm cool people and you're cool people, and we can be cool people together.
All right. Once again, I'm Tina, also known as Kabby, Kahbbie. I make queer art and comics about lesbian vampires, deep sea mermaids, who are also sometimes dead. And you can read. Well, one of them is actually dead. It's not inaccurate. And you can read all of my stuff for free at kabby.com.
Awesome. So thank you all so much for coming. See you all.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Let me find the outro. There's the outro. I got this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.